Welcome back everyone, Zeke here for episode 3 in this Let's Play series of Resident Evil 4 Remastered on the PlayStation 4. You join us today when we are going into chapter 1-3, and it's quite surprising how we've almost put an hour into this game already. And the first thing that we've gonna do here is equip our sniper rifle. If you haven't got this gun, I would suggest equipping the most powerful gun that you possibly can and just aiming slightly to the right of the post in front of you. You'll see an enemy. Dr. Salvador there with a nice hefty chainsaw. The main thing that you want to do is try and put as many bullets and get as much damage onto him as possible without him coming forward. Unfortunately, the first time that you shoot him, or if you go further out into basically the yard that you're seeing there, he will start coming for you. Of course, always try and go for the headshots, where possible. Obviously this will provide more damage to him and knock him down. Of course, if you are using the rifle as well, staying just inside the door frame of the house that we're in is always helpful. And of course, trying to stay away from that chainsaw as much as possible is always a great idea. If you do get bored though, please feel free to shoot him as he's getting up. And of course, keep an eye on his body. Whenever you hear the rev of the chainsaw go or the dramatic music drop, you know he's going to be killed. It shouldn't take that many more bullets to defeat him. As it says, we're coming up with the rifle, taking those sniper shots on his head. Once he dies, he should drop a red ruby, which you can sell for the merchant for quite a high price. Of course, if you do get stuck with him, obviously you can run past him if you're so brave and so inclined, or retreat back to the house. So obviously he will have to rev the chainsaw and destroy the door. But as we said, we got the red ruby now, and of course as we're continuing down this path, don't forget to look up and destroy the bird's nest there as well. You also get the spinel. They don't cost that much, or they don't give you that much in money, but obviously every little helps when we're playing this. So we want to upgrade our weapons as much as possible when we can. So remember to kill the enemies as we come across, and utilising the kicks and the knives as well. Try and save ammo as and when you possibly can. Of course, popping into the little hut here as well to break open the chest and get a red herb there. So of course, feel free to combine those with any herbs that you so wish. And as you continue further down then, there's going to be quite a clump of enemies down there for you. Of course, if you want to, you can take a couple out the sniper shot, or chuck a shotgun shell down there if you so wished, or even a grenade if you had it as well. What we're just going to do is just retreat back a little bit. Noticed I've only got 4 bullets left in my pistol, and I don't really want to have to reload in the middle of this, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4 enemy strong things. But obviously while they're all getting up, might as well take that couple of seconds of time to do it. As with the other videos as well, if you enjoy this video, please don't hesitate to leave a like, comment, share and subscribe, and stay tuned for all my recently released content. And of course, if you haven't seen the previous episodes in this Let's Play walkthrough of Resident Evil 4, please go check them out in the playlist on my channel. If you have any comments, suggestions or feedback on this video, please let me know in the comment section below, or in a private message to me, so I don't mind at all. And we're going to go straight through this once we've unlocked the door, and go back into the village that we walked through so many chapters ago. Not really that many, it was just 2 chapters ago there. And we're going to aim straight down. If you are very lucky, you'll be able to recreate the 3 headshots that we had there with the rifle. Of course, if you don't have the rifle, and I know I keep saying this, but some people don't buy the rifle, if you haven't got it, then please feel free to go down there, equip your shotgun and just catch them as they come around for you, so that's perfectly fine. And then what we're going to do there is try and hold our own as much as possible up here. Very unlucky there, the woman managed to grab me just before I got the kick off with this guy. That's not the best, and of course, unfortunately they can't seem to hurt each other, so that would have been a bit of a bad thing there. Luckily we haven't got to deal with another chainsaw enemy in this particular area just yet, so of course there is always good things to have a little bit of a look at there. And of course, if you hadn't already broken the chest as you came through this way with the village, as we did with the previous episode, you can go ahead and break the chest, and normally this has some gold or some ammo for you. Of course, as we can see, looking down there, we've got the gold from the enemies that we defeated previously. Be sure to pick it up before it goes, otherwise you're just wasting all of these for you. And of course, with the eggs that are dropped by the chickens around the area, pick them up or use them should you so wish. The main things that you want to be careful in this particular area is there will still be enemies on the rooftops there. You will be able to hear them, as well as they will chuck down axes at you. You can see we've got one just in front of us there. Any shot towards the leg, they'll come hurtling down. Of course, again, as we said previously, if you haven't broken any of the chests in this area, you can go ahead and do this while you're in here now. What we're just basically doing now is just doing a little bit of clear up, making sure we're taking care of the enemies. Of course, we will be going a different way to the original way that we came in for. So utilising the knife as much as possible just to save on that little bit of precious ammo. And of course we will be going up that way in a second, but first we're going to have to go into the church using the Los Illuminados key that we picked up just prior to this, once we came in the house before we battled Dr. Salvador. So going into this house, of course, picking up the ammo as much as possible, and of course there's a typewriter should you need to save the game. We will be running into the merchant in a minute, I believe. This is testing my knowledge now, and of course, if you so wish, you can destroy the oil canister just above our heads. I can't remember if that one actually drops anything for you, any sort of treasures, but it's always worth it. As you come into this particular area, you do want to be destroying this one, because as soon as the light goes out, you will see the sparkly things above us. One's a elegant headdress, and I believe the other two are spinels. Of course, you can sell these, as we said, to the merchant coming up ahead for some extra quick cash. So that's absolutely fantastic. I'm not sort of keeping up with my tradition now of always walking around with a fully loaded gun, but hey, I know there's not very many that enemies coming up. So of course at this stage he's going to say that he's got a selection of guns first, and of course if we've shot the 10 medallions at this particular stage, he will give us a new gun, which is going to be the Punisher, which can shoot through 2 enemies at once, but you won't have got those 10 medallions just yet because we haven't gone through the cemetery, which is coming up next in this video. Obviously take a minute just to sell all the items you don't need. For example, here I'm selling the TMP ammo. I do not need it. I do not have the TMP, so there's no point in me carrying it, and utilising a inventory slot. Selling 4 of those spinels, that ruby, and the brass pocket watch. Of course, the merchant's iconic, I'll buy it at a high price there. Obviously leaving the beer stein and the mask there, because obviously we need more things for that. So that's perfectly fine. So we're just going to go ahead, climb up this ladder, and of course enter the cemetery. I thought there was a little thing behind us, but unfortunately it is just ahead with another one of those bird's nests. Of course, keep an eye out for them. They're always handy to have. So go ahead and take that rifle ammo. As soon as you come in, you want to be heading to the right there and going into this little hut. Be careful, there will be an enemy in it to defeat. That's not a problem, so just go ahead, headshot her, melee her, and catch her with a knife. And of course break open all of the chests that you can possibly see in the room as well. This will also act as a nice fallback position if you do get swamped by enemies at any stage in the cemetery. But what we really want to be doing here is keeping an eye out for those blue medallions. I'm only going to be doing enough that enables us to get the extra pistol from the merchant. So I may leave a couple out, but of course I will show you enough to get the pistol with. So be careful as you're coming through this particular area. You will see an enemy coming down the path, but just take him down quite nicely then already. We're on 8 medallions out of 15. In this particular place you do want to be looking out for the headstones as well that have the Los Illuminados symbols on them, or main symbols such as you can see right in front of me there. They will come in handy for a little puzzle in a second, but of course I will give you the answer to that as well, so there's no need to worry about that. So as you come in here, there should be a couple of enemies on our side there, and be careful, one of them is carrying dynamite. Of course, as with our previous tips for them, If you shoot the dynamite, it will blow up prematurely, and of course, if it happens to go near your feet, make sure that you're either picking up an item or meleeing someone to avoid the damage as much as possible. So this makes it a little bit more difficult. I thought I was going to kill him quite quickly then, but unfortunately I don't really want to reload. I want to take this guy down as quick as possible, so even with one bullet left in the gun, and you should never be left in that situation, we're going to go ahead and do that. Of course, keep an eye on the trees for the bird's nest as well, and if you look just to the left of the church, there's going to be another one hanging on the tree branch. So that is 10 out of the 15, so of course that is all that we really need. You won't be able to go into this door right here, it won't budge, it is locked from the other side, and we will be able to unlock that a little bit later. Come around the particular area of the church, there will be two enemies again, one with dynamite. They seem to be loving this dynamite recently, and I completely missed him then. Managing to get it on like maybe my 4th or 5th shot there, which wasn't the best for me. I try and make sure that I don't utilize more ammo, and there's going to be 3 family insignias of the Dead Ringers, so these are the people that you're going to need to keep an eye on them. But basically you want to be turning it an increment of 3, another increment of 3, and a third 3, so basically 3 lots of 3. Then go a 4, a 4, and another 4, so basically 3 3s, 3 4s, and then one last 3, and that will open it up to the green cat's eye. Basically what we can do with here, go into our key treasures, then into our inventory. I meant to combine that, not examine it, and stick it into the beer stein along with the other red cat's eye that we got earlier on in this walkthrough. Of course, the beer stein only requires one more, I believe it's the yellow cat's eye now, to be fully upgraded, and we can sell it at a high price. If you do try and go off without investigating the church, you will get this little cutscene with Agent Honey.
Sort of.
Leon, did I mention not to take the scenic route? At any rate, Ashley's probably inside that structure. Rescue her, hurry!
And of course, after being reprimanded by Hunnigan, we better go back and check the church, otherwise they're not going to let us progress. And unfortunately there, we're going to get another talk with Agent Hunnigan.
Hunnigan, it's Leon. The door's locked. I can't get in.
Didn't they teach you how to pick locks at the academy?
Yeah. There's some sort of indentation, like something might fit inside.
Well, there's no use standing around. Leon, you have to find some way or something to get inside.
And after that nice, lovely chat with Agent Hunnigan, of course I'd always recommend interacting with the church first, we're going to continue down the path that she reprimanded us on the first time. And when we come down this path, there is going to be more enemies, and of course blue emblems all around the place for us to pick up as well. What you want to be doing here is not jumping across this path as I stupidly did there, but basically headshotting every enemy that you come across, and resulting in a melee attack, because that will push them off the side, so you don't really need to worry too much about them. Of course, when you come in here, be careful of the snake though. Feel free to shoot it after it jumps out at you, because normally they are carrying an egg, and of course, as we've seen in the previous episodes, they are a nice helpful source of health. Of course, once you jump over, don't hesitate to look behind you to get another blue emblem. Of course, that is 11 of 15, and right above our heads, there's going to be number 12. Of course, as I said, I'm not going to do all 15, purely because I can't remember where they all are. At least I'm being honest there, but there we are, there's 13 out of 15. So even if you did miss a couple there, there's more than enough for you. Of course, as you come down this path, there is going to be one more enemy at the end. Just stay out of his reach and just pop a shot in his head. And in that particular case, that enemy must have been very weak, because he went down without a fight. Once you go into this next particular area then, of course there's going to be some barrels on your right hand side, so feel free to have a little bit of break of those. And this area is going to be quite familiar with ourselves in a few chapters' time. Well, I say a few chapters, but not really a few chapters. It's going to be in a little while's time. Basically it's a large open area. What we want to be doing with these birds, of course, is taking out the shotgun if you so wished, and just putting a shotgun shell into them. I wouldn't recommend doing more, and I wouldn't recommend using any grenades, but basically a shotgun shell always manages to kill a couple of birds, and obviously allows you to get a little bit more money, which is always good. Make sure you investigate all 3 of the little log cabins, for want of a better word, because they will contain some ammo in there for you, and make sure that you're reloading all your guns as possible, because there will be a nice fight coming up ahead. Of course, have a little bit of a look and keep your health up as much as possible. So that's wonderful. And going to be 2 little doors. If you go down the blue door with the Los Illuminados symbol there, you will come across the merchant if you just jump down this ladder and go to your right. But before we speak to him, what we want to be doing is just having a little bit of a look around the side of his merchant's hut there, and there is going to be another barrel for us to destroy and get some extra quick cash. Absolutely wonderful. So again, if we have managed to pick up any treasures, or if you haven't sold them already, feel free to talk to him. And of course, because we have destroyed 10 of them, there's the Punisher, which is a 9mm handgun which will blast a hole through 2 enemies, so always absolutely brilliant. Of course, this is actually at a lower firepower than our standard gun, but it does have a little bit higher reload speed. Of course, if you do want to put some time and effort into that, feel free to. I'm not really too sure. This is normally at the stage where I either decide to change the guns or just stick with the upgraded guns that I've got at the minute. And at this particular stage, I think I'm going to keep with my standard pistol. So of course, selling the spinels and the elegant headdress, we don't need those anymore. And of course, there's a safe location just behind us if you so wish. Either way, don't forget to break open the crate and pick up the 10 handgun bullets just before you leave the area. Of course, that doesn't sound an awful lot of bullets, but as we've seen with the headshots and the kick sort of combo, they can last quite a long time. What I'm hoping to do is end this video just before we come across one of the first boss fights in this game, the Del Lago, the monster of the lake. And hopefully in the next episode, episode 4 of this Let's Play, we'll go across Del Lago and El Gigante, I don't know how to say it, so I do apologise for it. But of course, before we even get there, we're going to have to avoid a instant death boulder, which again, 3 members of Los Illuminados are trying to kill us with, so they're not very nice guys, got to admit. But before we even get to the area of Del Lago, we're going to have to go through this dynamite-infested area, which is always going to be fun. And of course, a quick headshot and a melee kick on this guy will set off the first dynamite traps. And as you can see, there is some over the water as well to our left and right-hand sides. So you've got to be very careful in this particular area, and of course there is plenty of enemies to keep you entertained as well. I was very unlucky there with that guy. I thought I was going to be able to retreat back out of his way, and for him not to be able to grab me, but unfortunately that was not the case. So with him dead, we've just got the one guy there, and again I was hoping for a little bit of a headshot there, but getting too close to him, so he grapples me, and of course we're almost dead on that one as well. So not the best start to this, and of course we can utilise some of the eggs, or even the lone green herb that we had earlier. In this particular area there is a nice treasure, I believe it's the antique pipe that we can pick up, and we will be sure to do that as we go across. And of course a couple of snakes there as well, so a nice little area for us to be able to catch up on the eggs as well for healing items. At a stage in this particular area there will be more enemies spawning in, so just be careful of that. And of course when they're underneath the water they are a little bit more difficult to hit and to see, so just be careful of that as well. Of course, shooting in the head isn't the only way that you can get the melee kills on them. Of course, any shots to the knees, or when they retreat back holding their face as well, you will often see the melee icon as well. Of course, we've got a couple of snakes in the water. Again, we're not going to worry so much about them just yet. And I did see an enemy coming down the path there, but I'm going to be careful of the snake first of all. Let's see if I can't be a little bit clever. Unfortunately, these guys decided to break up on my snake shooting. They wanted to have a little bit of fun with me, and of course I'm being quite clever here, catching pretty much all 3 of them with the knife there. Just, unfortunately, not killing that last guy with those knife hits, so a couple of shots onto him, so he's dead. So we've just got this guy with the scythe, and of course, utilising the tricks as we've mentioned in prior videos. Once they throw the scythe or the axe, just basically run straight at them. and 9 out of 10 times you'll be able to avoid it. I was going to turn around and knife the guy that's just getting up now, but unfortunately his partner decided he wanted to come and join in. Of course, I have seen more enemies now coming down, and this does appear like this is the time that they all want to join the party, so that's not the best. But of course, quick swap over to the shotgun, and they are nicely dealt with as well. Always try and bunch them up if you're going to use the shotgun, of course, because the spread action of it, but that shouldn't be too difficult for us. And feel free to retreat away if you do get stuck. Don't get grappled if you can help it as well, because it's just going to leave you open for many attacks. Either shoot them or back away as much as you can to avoid it. And it does appear like most of them are dead now, so just going to have a little bit of a look there. I was tempted to use the first aid spray, but I decided I didn't need that. Just utilise one of the eggs that we had. Of course, we're going to keep an eye out for the snakes going about as well, to see if we can't catch up on those eggs. So I was quite lucky to get that sort of sniper pistol shot then across the way, and of course we got the white chicken egg as well. Just behind me is where you do get the antique pipe, I believe, but I'm currently hunting for these eggs and for the snakes. Of course, some of the time they do take a second or two to spawn, so if you shoot a snake and it doesn't appear straight away, please don't worry so much about it. Of course, there's going to be dynamite as well, so either knock an enemy into this or shoot it yourself to enable that to go off. And of course, keep an eye out on your left-hand side up here and look up into the tree for the bird's nest and the antique pipe. So that's going to be quite helpful now. Of course, with this area, as well as many of the other areas in Resident Evil 4, you can basically run straight through them if you so wish, and avoid most of the enemies. I tend to take a couple of seconds to kill them. I know then that we're perfectly safe, and they don't have to, and I don't have to sort of keep looking over my shoulder worrying about where the enemies are. Also, because they drop ammo and coins, gold, money, one for a better word, there's never any harm in worrying about them. So we are coming to the end of this video there. I don't want to make it entirely that long, so I'm just going to have a little bit of a look in here. And I believe I actually caught the snake. Yep, I did. I caught the snake with my melee, with my knife there as well. So we're going to be coming up now just to one more entrance then. I believe that will take us up to the lake in Chapter 1-3. And when you get into this area, there is two pathways, one leading up and one leading down, to get a sort of cutscene that not many people have seen. To my knowledge, you want to head all the way up and you'll see what happened to the other police officer that you were with at the start of the game. And there we have it. At least now we know what happened to the other body. Of course, the first one was burnt in the middle of the village, so that was always absolutely brilliant. But of course, what we want to do then is just head towards the lake there. Of course, if you do want to know how to get the Don't Rock the Boat trophy as well, which is a missable trophy that you can get at this particular stage in the game, please don't hesitate to go check out my trophy guide on that for you. I will leave a link in the description box below. But what we're basically going to be doing is heading straight into this little hut here and saving the game and ending it there. Of course, if you enjoyed, please don't hesitate to leave a like, comment, share and subscribe, and as always, have a lovely day now.